Hi, my name is Noma and I'm recording from Johannesburg, South Africa. So I'm very excited to be recording this episode for you. And I've been struggling with a cold and a cough for the past couple of weeks. So my voice is a bit off at the moment. I hope I'll be able to record all the way through. It's around 4 p.m. in the afternoon, and mostly I record in the morning when my husband is around. So he's at work right now, and I'm with my girls, age 3 and 9, and I'm hoping they'll behave throughout this episode. They're in another room playing, and if you hear any sounds, apologies for that in advance. So let's get started. So I'll start with what I'm wearing, and it's my first finished object for this episode. So the last time I recorded this pullover was still missing a sleeve. So I've finished both sleeves, and the test has been done and the tech editing is done. So I'm just left with the photos, and it's probably going to launch on Monday, this coming Monday. So it's the Nandipa pullover. It's a very simple pullover worked from the top down, and it's got straight sleeves, so they are not exactly balloon sleeves, they are straight, and then the cuffs are rapidly decreased and they are slim. So I only finished this yesterday, and I didn't block it because I wanted to show it on the episode, so the sleeves are still a bit wonky, but I'll be blocking it over the weekend. So the Nandipa pullover is one of my favorites at the moment, and I worked on it with Cowgirl Blues yarn, and it's the DK Merino, and the color is sable. So I spoke about this yarn quite a bit on the last episode, and how much I love the stitch definition. So it's got some very good stitch definition, but at the same time it's very soft, because I'm wearing it with a sleeveless dress, but it's very comfortable even on the arms and on the neck. It's a very soft, beautiful yarn, and the stitch definition is great. I'll just put a photo up close to show how good this the stitch work is on this yarn. So I really needed that definition for this particular design. It's a very simple one. It's just knit and purl stitches, and as I've mentioned, this year I'm focusing on much simpler knits that I can pair up with almost everything in my wardrobe. So this is one of the designs that I thought of when I came up with that idea to just focus on the simpler knits. So I'm excited about the way it turned out, and it's a bit chilly today, so I've been wearing it for quite a while, and I'll probably take it off in the evening. So that's the Nandipa, and the pattern comes in 11 or 12 sizes, but it's got a very wide size range, and it ranges, I think, from about 34 inches to 78. So I hope there's something for everyone there. And it's, as I said earlier, it's going to launch on Monday. So I hope you will be able to see it or remember it, because I'll be posting it after this episode. And then the next finished object that I have, since I've already started with what I'm wearing, are the Lilita socks. So I worked on these socks from I think Wednesday evening last week, but essentially I think I can say Thursday, because when I started them on Wednesday I was using a different yarn, and the yarn was speckled, but the pattern wasn't coming out nicely. It was also a pink yarn, and the pattern wasn't coming out nicely, so I ended up picking this one instead, because I wanted a pink pair of socks. And this is Nurturing Fibers Super Twist sock, and the color is Cherry Blossom. So let me put my hand in here so you can see the pattern. So this is the stitch pattern that I'm using. It's I used this cable and lace pattern on the Lilita shawl, which I launched, I think, early this year or late last year, I'm not so sure. But the Lilita socks used this cable as well. And then so I thought of doing just some stockinette stitch on the side and at the back of the leg, but then I just wanted to give it a bit of some character and some texture, so I did this dotted stitch. So it really gives it a bit of some texture. So these are kind of ankle socks, But I did a few repeats here at the top before doing the short row heel and then proceeding to the foot of the sock. So they're very quick to knit. I think when I was working on this particular pair, I started working on it on Thursday, and I was done on Sunday. So that's just 3 days, and the pair was done. So it's currently being tested, and it will be out, I think, around the 12th of April. And then the next finished object, I was also working on this one when I did the last episode. It also needs to be blocked. Is the diamond walk shawl. So with this one, as I've mentioned, I was using the zipper ball crazy, and the color I think is Domino 2100. I don't know whether you used just the name of the code, but anyway, that's what's written on the label. So it started from one point, and you increase and work the middle section in some slip stitch pattern, and then decreases at the top until you get to the other point. So it's a trapezium shaped shawl, and it's quite long because you can wrap it around this way. So it's also being tested, and some of my testers are also using their Super Bowl yarn, and it's really coming out nicely. I've seen a lot of interesting colors. So you just need 2 skeins of yarn. It just whatever you choose to use. So it doesn't have to be a particular brand of yarn. You can even use a speckled and a solid, or 2 solids, whatever you like for this shawl goes. So it's a very simple one, as you can see. I'm really loving this. So I finished this a few days ago. I don't know why I didn't block it, but anyway, I'll also take care of it early next week. And this show will be coming out at the end of April, I think around the 26th or so. I've forgotten the date that I set for this one. And then the next, this is not a finished object. It's almost finished, but for someone who doesn't want to do the vertical stripes, it may as well be finished. So this is the, it doesn't have a name yet, so it's the vest. It's also worked from the top down. So what I did was these stripes and these little boxes. So as you can see, the lapel columns right there. So it's just a vest. It's already done. I've done all the knitting, and it's V-neck in shape. So it hasn't been blocked as well, so it's going to look a bit wonky, but it hasn't been blocked. So with this vest, I was using African Expressions yarn. So the main color is undyed. You buy it undyed. I think it's Enchanted. It's the DK weight yarn. I'll have to cross-check that. I think it's the Enchanted yarn. It's a very beautiful yarn, and I've had this yarn for quite a while. I actually used it on a different project, but I didn't like how it turned out, so I frogged it and did this vest instead. And then the stripes I did in African Expressions Joy, and the color is 1057. It's a beautiful light gray. So initially when I swatched, I had used a dark brown, but I somehow wanted to have a very light stripe on the vest, so I can wear it with a lot of colors. So that's why I changed from this brown to the gray. So I've already finished all the knitting, and now all I need to do is on these pearl columns, I just have to crochet the vertical stripes. So this could have been done using Fair Isle, or some would argue, but I didn't want it to be super thick, since I wanted it to be something I can wear in the spring or summer, and because of the size of the boxes, that would have meant a lot of carrying of the floats, and honestly that seemed like a lot of work. And so I just decided to make a light garment that doesn't have the floats behind it, but still have this shape, the boxes, as you can see on the swatch. So what I have to do now on this vest is to do the vertical stripes with a crochet hook. So if you're interested in leaving it like this and do not want to do the crochet, I think it still looks very good, and it has a very interesting stitch detail because of the vertical lines and the horizontal stripes. I think it still looks great for someone who doesn't want to do the striping, and it will also come in a lot of sizes. And then what else? Okay, so those are all the finished objects that I've got, and then the works in progress. So I've still got this sock on my needles, and honestly I would have finished it by now, but when I was almost done with the sock, I realized that I was about to run out of yarn, and when I checked, I only had one other ball. This is African Expressions Joy, and the color is 1033. So I was kind of reluctant because I didn't want to buy one ball of yarn. So I was thinking that maybe I'll just use a different color and start working on it afresh. But then I realized that I had another ball just 2 days back, so I'll be getting back to it and finishing up the sock as well, because I really love this pattern. So let me hold it like this. So it's some stockinette and twisted rib stripes. So it's also a very simple pattern, and I'm really loving the look of it. I think I might do a pair for my husband later in the year, because it's very simple and it's something that would also fit with men. And then the other work in progress that I've got, because I've got very few things on my needles right now, I've been trying to finish stuff and get ready for some summer tops. So the other work in progress that I've got, I think the last time I showed it, it was just this tiny, but it's grown quite a bit. This color block cardigan, I don't have a name for it yet, but this is how it looks. So it's in 4 different colors. No, not 4 different colors, 2 colors, but it's got 4 panels. So this front is in okay, let me check the name, Faded Rose. So the yarn is Cowgirl Blues Merino Twist. So as I said, it's Faded Rose, and the other color is Sable. Let me move the label. Okay, it's Sable. So it's worked using intarsia, but of course, as we all know, a lot of people don't like intarsia, but this is very simple intarsia, because you just plain knitting and only twisting your stitches when you get to your color changes. So it's not a lot of balls around, it's just 4, and they don't really get twisted. From what I've noticed, they don't get twisted that much, because I'm just doing some straight knitting and purling on the wrong side. So it's a simple stockinette cardigan, and I'm not going to make it too long, but it's not going to be a cropped one, because I want to be able to wear it with dresses as well. So it's V-neck, and it's going to be a buttoned cardigan, long sleeves, and the sleeves these are drop sleeves, so they're also quite simple and easy to knit. So I wanted a relaxed look, and this is the cardigan that I'm working on. As I mentioned, I'm using Cowgirl Blues, just like this one, and so this is the same color, except this is decay and this is fingering white, sable. So that's the swatch that I had made for this. And then my last work in progress is this shawl that I haven't touched in a while, but now I've gotten back to it. So it's also a trapezium shaped shawl, just like the diamond work shawl which I showed earlier, but the difference with this one is that it starts off in the middle with a triangle, and then the sides are worked in opposite directions to form the trapezium. So with this design, I'm using Pearl Soho linen quill, and this color I think is gray denim. So I'm knitting with this very simple lace pattern. It's a very simple and straightforward one, and then it's stockinette stitch all around. So with this pattern, initially I wanted to do some stripes with more hair, but it didn't look so good. I didn't like the look of it, so that's why I had to put it aside for a while and figure out what I wanted to do. So this is a one skein shawl, because I've only got one skein of this yarn. So that's why I decided to do this construction, because it works so well with one skein shawls. So for instance, once you've done the center panel, the remaining yarn is split into 2 equal balls. So what I did, okay, I don't know where the other ball is, but what I normally do with this is that when I split the 2 balls, for instance, the center panel was used about 30 grams, so I was left with 70. So when I did the split, I made sure that the other one was 36 grams and this one was 34, so that when I work this section, I can work it all the way to the end and not worry about running out before I finish when I'm doing the second side. So I know that this is slightly less than the ball that I have left, so I can work all the way and do as much as I possibly can, and still be 100% sure that I have more yarn left to do the second section. So that's the good thing about working one skein shawls in this construction. And it's the same with a top down one, when you start with very few stitches and increase, because you know when you run out you can bind off. So this is one of my favorite construction methods. I've used it on another shawl which was also one skein, and it's called the Roses Are Pink shawl. So I'm using the same construction here, and this is actually a bit larger than I would normally do with a one skein shawl, because this yarn has got more yardage than most 100 grams skeins that I've used in the past. So I hope it's going to be slightly larger. So it also follows the simplicity rule. This is a very simple shawl, very simple stitch pattern, and I hope it turns out well. So that's all that I have that I'm working on. So it's only 3 projects that are on my needles at the moment, but that's going to change very soon, because I need to start working on some summer designs. So the first one that I'll talk about, so now I'm just going to be showing you some yarn that I've got here. Okay, so this is some very old yarn I've had. It's Miss Lamotte, and I've forgotten the color name, because I've had this yarn for I think since 2019. So I'm really going through all the old stuff and getting it out. So it's the same as this yarn. Okay, let's see. This is Miss Lamotte singles. It's some merino singles, and this one is Nightmare. So as you can see, the label is really old and torn. So the color is Nightmare. So I'm going to pair this together and knit a top. It's going to be V-shaped most likely, and it's going to be sleeveless, and it's going to have a bit of some lace at the bottom, and it's going to be solid at the top. So that's the first one that I'll be working on. And then the next top that I'm so excited to be working on will use this yarn. I bought this about 2 weeks ago. So I'll be using African Expressions Soul, and this color is 7039M. So it's a blend of pink and beige, so it's really beautiful. So this yarn Soul is 15% mohair, 50% merino, 15% mulberry silk, and 20% polyamide. So I think every single year for the past couple of years, whenever I do a summer collection, I try to do a top that's slightly longer than just waist length. So this one is also going to be a bit longer as well. It's going to be sleeveless, but it's going to be a slightly longer top that you can enjoy over a pair of jeans, or even if you're wearing your bathing suit. So this is going to, I think, take a while, because this is light fingering weight yarn, and I'll be working this on 3.25 or 3.5 millimeter needles. I've done the swatch, so I'll just have to check the notes that I wrote. So it's going to take a bit of some time, but because it's going to be sleeveless and the top part is going to be a bit of a scoop neck, so I think that'll compensate for that, even though I'll do a bit more on the length. But I'm really excited about this project. It's most likely the next one I'll be casting on, because it's going to take a while. And then the next one that I'll be doing is another top. This one is the only one I think this year that's going to be worked from the bottom up. It's going to be having some lace. So I started writing the pattern top down, but I realized that it was quite a lot. And mostly I tried to make the summer designs much simpler to work on, because most people are on the move, they're out and about. I didn't want to design something that requires a lot of charts and sitting down and focusing. So it's going to be worked from the bottom up. It's going to be a very simple top as well, but it's going to have some lace as well. And then the next one, this is African Expressions Harmony, and the color is 2000 or 2000. So this is the color number. So with this one, I'm going to knit another vest. So it's going to be a simple, plain, solid vest, which is going to probably use a lot of garter stitch, because I wanted something that's really, really simple. So I don't know whether I've noticed that sometimes when I'm working on my summer designs, I still use a lot of wool instead of just plant fibers for the summer. That's because in our climate, because our summer is November, December, January. So okay, am I getting that right? Is that summer? Okay, I think it's December, January, and February. Sorry. Yeah. So basically, with our summer, we normally have a lot of rain. So summer months come with rain, and I've noticed that when it rains, it gets pretty cold. Because right now we're just starting autumn, but the reason why it's a bit chilly today and why I'm wearing a sweater is because it's been raining a bit. So whenever it rains, it gets really cold, and sometimes I notice that I don't have a lot of items that I can wear in such weather, because whenever I think summer, I think of super light garments, but summers can get really chilly sometimes, whether it's in the evening or sometimes during the day, but then it's not so cold that you want to wear a pullover like this, but it's cold enough that if I'm wearing a long sleeved shirt, I can just throw on a vest on top. So that's why I've really been thinking much about doing some knits in thicker yarn, even if it's for the summer, because there's a vest that I did which I wear a lot. It's called the Lutando vest, I think. Yeah, it's called the Lutando vest, and I worked that on I used some cotton yarn on that one. So when it's really cold, it doesn't really help me much. I normally wear it on very hot days, so that's why I was thinking of doing something that will really come in handy when it gets a bit chilly. And that's the same even with this one, because it's some thick yarn with alpaca and merino wool, so it's going to be really helpful on those cool days. So I'm still going to do another vest if time allows this season with some cotton yarn. This is 100% organic cotton by Nurturing Fibers, and the color is fawn. So I'm going to hold this double for summer, like 100% summer vest as well. So I'm going to do another one in this yarn, because sometimes it's really hot. I don't want to wear a wool vest, so I'm going to do another one in this yarn. And then I'll be doing a striped top. I spoke about this one last year, but I never got the chance to do it. This is Nurturing Fibers. It's going to be striped, and the colors are olive and vanilla. So I'm so excited about this one. I really wanted to do it last year, but I was a little late with my summer designs, so I couldn't do it on time. And then there's another top that I'll also do. This is going to be thin straps, and I'll be using Katia Concept, and this is the cotton yak. And the other one that I showed earlier on was the cotton cashmere, and this color is color 55, and then this one is color 108. So I'll be doing a top that's a bit A-line. I think that's what I'm trying to do with this one. So I'm still figuring out how to work it out. I don't want it to be flat, like super flat, but it's going to be slightly A-line with thin straps. something that's really cute and nice to wear. So that's what I'll be doing with this one. And then this is some other very old yarn. I think I got this in 2018 and I still haven't used it. So I'll also do a t-shirt. I can't really say a simple one. It may not necessarily be super simple, but I'm just going to knit a t-shirt with this one. And I'm trying to think of something that really makes the yarn pop, because it's got a very nice shine. As I mentioned earlier, it's got some kid mohair, some mulberry silk, wool, and polyamide. So it's really got a very nice shine. It's African Expressions, and this one is color 7298. So I've got 2 ideas on this, so I'll see which one I'll end up settling on. And then the last item, so this is not going to be a summer item as such. It could even come in early September or even late August maybe, but I doubt it. So I ordered this yarn a month ago. It only arrived on Monday. Yeah. So this is my yak, and this is the baby. This is 100% baby yak. It's a lace weight yarn, and the color is oatmeal. So I'm so excited about this. So I finally received it after a month. I had ordered it from 2 different shops, sent it to one address, had it shipped. It's been through quite a journey. But so when I first thought about using this yarn, I've been seeing a lot of these cashmere button-down tops that look really soft and comfy and very nice. So I wanted to knit one for myself. And so it's going to be, I think, very detailed. So I haven't started writing that down, even though I've been thinking a lot about the details that I'll add on the top that I'm going to do. So it's going to look like, your typical button-down shirt that people normally wear formally. So it's going to be quite a challenge, I think, even though it's going to be a simple one, but I think it's going to really be quite a stretch to pull it off. And it's one challenge that I'm really excited about this year. So I got 6 of these. I hope there'll be enough. And I really love the softness. So when I first had the idea, I wanted to use the 100% baby cashmere, but I think it's been discontinued by my yak, and I didn't want to use any other yarn other than the very soft and something that's very close to what I've seen, particularly in these fashion shops where you find these shirts sometimes. So I'm going to start working on this. I think once I've made progress with most of the shirts, because these are mainly for summer, and this is going to be the last one among all the projects that all the yarns I've shown here that I'll be casting on. So it's going to be quite a challenge, but it's going to be an exciting one. So I want to see how far I'll go with these other projects that I'm working on, and I'll tackle it as soon as possible. So that's all the stuff that I have, but then there could be some other summer projects that I will add onto this. I'll see. I'm still planning, but the projects that I have in mind are not necessarily 100% summer. They probably will be transitional pieces. So I'll see how I'll fit them here, because I think that's a lot of knitting I've got here at the moment. So I'll see if I can add. Most likely it will be 2 or 3, and there'll probably be some lace projects, and maybe hopefully a dress. I've been really hoping to do a dress this year, so I'll see if that's going to be possible. So I think that's all there is to show for today. Thank you so much for joining me and for watching this video. Please don't forget to subscribe. I'll be trying to show as many of these videos as I possibly can, and I think it will be very nice to share all the new stuff that I'm coming up with. And sometimes I've noticed that when I record these videos, I get ideas of stuff that would actually work better with some of the yarns, because right now as I was talking, I realized, okay, I might maybe change 1 or 2 things here and there, but I think for now I'll stick to the stuff that I've come up with already. So thank you so much for watching, and please, as I mentioned, subscribe. And I'll also include the link to my newsletter as well, because nowadays it's very hard to get all communication out through social media because of the algorithms. So I'll include the link to my newsletter if you want to be updated with everything that I'm doing. And mostly when I publish new patterns, I give subscribers about 30 to 40% discount for all the new launches. So if you're interested in that, please sign up for the newsletter. Thank you very much for watching.